is your baby, and you need to
That's a
love and
All right, welcome back to another School Principal Reacts. My name is Brandon, and I am a principal from the U.S. state of Georgia. I'm continuing right on through this series of Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide. Again, I can't thank you all enough for recommending this show to me because it is so true to life. I've said that before about other shows, but this one really, really is. And a lot of it is not exaggeration. This stuff happens in schools, and I can't wait to react to it. This one is the fifth one that I have done. It's called Detentions. I can't wait to see what this one is about. I have a feeling this is going to be an interesting subject, but let's get right into it. And just a reminder, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. Let's go.
So, what do you think?
I think it's a paper airplane.
It's not a paper airplane. It's the paper airplane.
Just a quick comment. I mentioned this in another show or movie. I think it was Spider-Man. I just don't see paper airplanes. Back in the day, like it was like the bad thing to do. You know, you make a paper airplane and you throw it. That was like the worst thing. Now, some kids have moved on to other things, and I just don't see them anymore. But let's see.
I designed and built this baby all by myself. The slightest breeze will take her flying.
You have way too much time on your hands.
You better not throw that.
Uh-huh.
You don't think you can sneak a dangerous projectile past me, do you?
Dangerous
Now
projectile.
hand it over. That's detention for you, Mr. Cook.
Detention.
It wasn't me. I didn't do it. Did you see her go? Detention! No!
He's like all scared, and then he said, "Did you see her go?" Like because it flew far. And again, back in the day, I don't know why. I do remember being in middle school and thinking, "Oh, a paper airplane. That's like the most disrespectful thing you can do." It's really not. I just haven't seen it in a long time. Kids have moved on to other ways of getting into mischief.
Bad kids go to detention. I'm a good kid.
Of course you are.
And I've seen that attitude as well. Did you hear what he said? He said, "Oh no, not detention. Only the bad kids go to detention. I'm a good kid." Yeah, I've seen this attitude before. The truth is that we're all human and we all make mistakes, and even the good kids do make mistakes sometimes, and there's sometimes a price to pay for that. And by the way, detention, I mentioned this in the Student Starfish episode of SpongeBob where they go to detention. Detention is something that is really, really different every place. There's some things about school where it's pretty much the same at every school. Detention is kind of a weird one. Some schools don't do detention, others do detention. I worked at a high school where we had it after school. I worked at a high school where we had Saturday school every Saturday, and that was a form of detention. It was a little bit longer, and you had to kind of help do different things around the school. I've had schools that don't do any detention simply because it doesn't really work so well, or they, have to move on to other consequences. So it's a little bit different no matter where you are. Let me know how it is or was at your school.
I'll see you at 3:20, Mr. Cook.
Right after school.
Oh, come on, Mr.
That's how it
Sweeney.
is.
He didn't throw the paper airplane. The wind came by. It was an accident.
Well, if you're so worried about your friend, you can join him in detention.
You can't do that. I mean, he was kind of sort of justified in giving Cookie detention, but Ned just saying, "Oh, it was the wind," and now he has detention too. You can't do that. You have to go by the school handbook. Every school in existence has some sort of school handbook, which is like the rules of the school. And those are kind of the law of the land. I think I mentioned this on my Captain Underpants video where Principal Krupp just starts making stuff up and writing things in the handbook. You can't do that. He could get fired for that. So if it's in the handbook, you can absolutely enforce it. Like this guy with the throwing the airplane, or even though the wind did it, he could say, "Well, you meant to do that." That's probably justified. But Ned, nah, you can't just throw him in there with him. Doesn't work like that.
Friend? I don't even know him. I just met him. Who are you? This isn't
Who
fair.
are you?
Ned didn't do anything wrong, and neither did Cookie.
Uh-oh.
That's enough, Miss Mosley. One more word out of you, and it's detention for you, too.
Nah.
One more word.
Uh-oh.
Word.
You can't do that. Attention. All right, I can't wait. See how realistic this is.
Detention.
Knock, knock.
Yeah, knock. Who's there?
Are you making fun of me?
Yeah, you making fun of him?
Get lost.
We got detention. And we were just wondering, what's it like?
Oh, they get
It's a
advice
bad
from the
place,
bully.
Jennifer.
That's kind of funny. They go to him for advice, figuring he's been there so many times. He knows how to deal with it. And by the way, this bully character, I guess, is believable. I think it's very believable for the time this episode was made, which was what, 2005-ish? I can't remember. You saw a lot more of that. I haven't seen a bully wear something like that in quite a long time, but I understand what they were trying to do. I can't wait to see what he says about what detention is like and what you should do.
A very bad place.
Why?
One word. 8th graders.
8th graders. And this guy looks like a 8th grader, almost a high schooler. So I wonder what grade they're supposed to be in. I guess 6th or 7th. I do remember feeling this way as a 6th grade student. It's like, oh, the 8th graders, we better stay away from them. And now it's like, why did I think that? Like, they're just 2 years older and, but, kids at this age, they grow so rapidly during this time that, you as a 6th grader might be tiny and the 8th graders might be huge by comparison. Some of them look like high school students. So I think he talked about that on the first episode.
It looks like Ned Bigby's gonna be dead Bigby.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
I hope things work out for you, Jennifer.
Don't worry. Loomer was just playing with us. How bad could detention be? Coconut Head! What happened?
Detention. Yesterday, Dirk at the gym teacher.
All this trouble over a dopey little paper airplane that couldn't even hurt a fly.
Remember, people, this is your baby, and you need to
That's a
love.
All right. So number one, that's one crazy flight path for a paper airplane. Number two, this guy says, how important your baby is and you need to take care of them. And then he starts swinging at this airplane with it. That's funny.
Bring your paper, devil. Come on. Bring it on. Treat it with love and class
Dude, its leg is off.
dismissed.
Be
Yep.
patient. He'll call you tomorrow. Don't you even think about doing that.
Okay, so what is this? She's doing like some sort of psychic readings out of the mashed potatoes, like the form of the mashed potatoes. That's kind of crazy.
Honey, you got detention.
What do you see, lunch lady?
Desperation and aviation.
What does that mean?
Desperation and
I
aviation.
don't know. It's in the peas. Get out of here.
Oh, the peas.
You don't look so good. I'm a mess. I can't eat. I can't sleep. You can't sleep? I've been wide awake in every class. What about you? I'm fine. How's Cookie doing? I bet he's a wreck.
I've seen this before where, somebody like Cookie gets detention or something. And, he said he's a good kid. And then they start, maybe not this exaggerated where they're strutting around. Like he's trying to be the bad boy now. Like he thinks it makes him popular or something. I've seen that before.
So,
Thinks he's bad now.
what's up, man? What's up? What's crack? What?
They're like, what?
Sir, Ned Mose, you are looking at Polk's #1 bad boy.
Yep.
Ow! Do you know who you're dealing with? Okay. Ever since I got detention, my cool rating is through the roof. I've been telling everybody what happened.
They're impressed that you got a detention for throwing a paper airplane?
Sounds like a pretty lame story to me.
Depends how you tell it.
Excuse me.
Yeah, how did he tell it?
Can I have your autograph? Is it true that you hang glided into school today, landed on Sweeney, and crushed him?
My lawyer said I can't talk about it. This is so awesome. All over a little plane that couldn't hurt a fly. Catch you later.
Incoming!
Plane's still going.
Next!
That guy
Come
looks like a
on.
psycho.
He's like curling a barbell
Gonna deal with
as
a psycho.
he's
Takes
that's
a
more
psycho
people.
to deal with a psycho.
Detention. No need to panic. You gotta be strong like oak, yet pliable like bamboo. As soon as you get in,
strong like oak, but pliable like bamboo. Everything's about wood with him. That's funny.
find the leader, face him down.
Okay.
Show no fear. On the inside, only the strong survive. Remember, it's better to be feared than loved.
So we gotta be strong like oak.
Not we, Chipmunk. She's oak. You're more like kindling. So, listen. Stick close to the teacher and wear that. That's oak.
An oak helmet.
All right, everyone, put in your earplugs. I'll be screaming at the top of my lungs until school's over.
Tumbleweed.
I'm oak.
It's time, I guess.
I'm not.
And I'm a bad man.
So this
You in
is
charge
it.
here?
Well,
Not anymore. Ever seen Scared Wood? I'd rather be feared than loved. Vice versa. Piece of cake.
Oh, he's doing detention.
Oh, hey guys, what a nice.
And by the way, I mentioned earlier that detention is very, very, very different depending on where you are. It's one of those things where every school does it differently. Some detentions is just some kind of random teacher, whoever's supposed to do it that day. I've been at schools where there were like one or two that always did it. I've been at schools where the assistant principal or vice principal did it. I don't think I've seen the principal himself do detention, or sometimes it's not even a teacher. It's like another staff person at the school who does it. I mean, really all you do is sit with kids and make sure they don't, make sure they obey the rules until it's time to go. So it's a pretty easy job.
Nice surprise. Are you all joining the sewing club?
Sewing club?
this in detention?
Detention? Oh, no. That bad place is next door.
Oh, sewing club.
I thought this was detention too. Yeah, that's right.
That's
There goes the best cross stitcher in this school.
funny. And I noticed they have a whole room that says detention. I haven't seen that in a very, very long time. I don't even know if I've seen it in real life, mostly just movies and stuff. Most schools, like, your space is very important, and you're usually like trying to find extra classrooms and rooms to do different things in for your school. To have a whole room that's nothing but detention, nah, or I wouldn't say that. You just use a random classroom that you use for detention, or some schools do have a classroom that they use for like ISS, in school suspension. You can just have it in there, but I've never seen like a door that says detention. Like that's the only thing that happens in there. That's a little unrealistic, but I can't wait to see what happens here.
I need a victim.
Oh,
Where's Coconut Head? Mosley. You'll do. Double time.
I'm Oak. I'm Oak.
Oh, now they're alone with the other kid. Uh-oh.
It's cool. He's with me. I'm Cookie. I do what I want, when I want, and I just don't care.
What are you in for?
Got busted for throwing a paper airplane. Oh, good thing that was a clip on. I barely even threw it. The wind came and whoosh, plane fly.
Oh, it's him.
Bigby, Cook, sit down. I don't want to hear a sound for 30 minutes.
I noticed the little decor where it's like this bleak environment, no talking, no, I couldn't read the other stuff, and it said, don't do the time if you can't do the crime, or no, I messed it up. Don't do the crime if you can't do the time. I've never seen a detention room like that. Usually it's in some random teacher's classroom.
I didn't know this room existed.
I know. It's detention-y.
Detention-y. Yeah, it is detention-y, but it doesn't exist in most schools.
I'm sorry, what?
Could you repeat that?
My fists!
Okay. Tips for detention. The teacher is your best friend.
Yeah, if you're someone like Ned, they sure are. Absolutely. That's funny. And I have to say, most places that have detention, if you're the teacher, I mean, you're gonna have a book or something you're working on. You're gonna be watching the students, of course, but you're not gonna stare at them for 30 minutes or 60 minutes or however long it is. Most detentions I've seen are probably about 30 minutes, something like that. 30 minutes, maybe 45. Now they're like right in front of them.
Okay. 15 minutes to freedom.
And it's funny, this guy's a science teacher. This room looks more like maybe a science classroom, a science lab with those big old tables. But it's funny, everything in there is gray. It's like they had to make it real bleak for the show. It's kind of funny.
I'm going to make a phone call. Don't let me hear a sound.
Dude, you can't do that.
Why not?
I have a question. A science question.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
What is science?
Let me begin my answer with an equation, Mr. Bigby. Does that answer your question, Mr. Bigby?
Yeah. Thank you.
Now, I'll be right back.
You can't do that. You can't leave students alone. That's like rule number 0 for schools. You can't leave students alone, particularly in detention. You've got all the kids that have done something wrong to be there, and you're just going to leave them alone. That would never happen.
No noise.
I say it would never happen, but I have kind of seen it happen, but it's not supposed to happen. Let me put it that way. Like he doesn't notice. Oh, there we go.
Now you two get back where you belong. And I don't want to hear another peep out of you.
No talking, no spitting, no hitting, no kicking. Wow.
2 more minutes and we would have lived.
Uh-oh. Now what?
Didn't I tell you that?
The plane that's been flying around all over the place hits him in the eye.
Paper airplane ever.
That's another day for you, young.
Yep, I was going to say, you know, if you're in detention and you misbehave while you're in detention, you're going to get either an additional day of detention or something like in-school suspension or out-of-school suspension, depending on what happened.
Man. Detention's over.
Survived, I guess.
We survived. But what?
Really surprised Ned and Cookie didn't get another day of detention for like linking a bunch of paper clips and putting it around the teacher. That should probably be another day right there.
What about Mose?
Oh yeah, what happened with her? I totally forgot.
I'm fine. Dirk had me clean erasers the whole time.
Oh.
I'm oak. How'd you guys make out?
And I've seen that before. It's a little less common, but you know, hey, instead of detention, do this task, or instead of being in the detention room during the detention time, you help a teacher do something kind of tedious. I think I've seen that before.
Let's just say Cookie took care of them.
Told you I was bad.
So when it comes to detention, the best tip is try not to get detention.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah. All right, I'm going to go ahead and end the video there. That was a fun one, detention. Most of the things in there were kind of true to life, except for all the antics in detention and also the teacher giving Ned and Mose detention just for like saying something about the fact Cookie got detention for throwing the plane. But pretty good little episode. I enjoyed it. I'm going to keep rolling through these Ned's Declassified episodes. Let me know if there's anything else I need to be on the lookout for. I've appreciated all the comments and recommendations so far. But I'm going to leave it there. This has been School Principal Reacts. Thanks for watching.